Nobody wanted him. It's ironic because he's the easiest politician to buy, but nobody wanted to buy him today. I did it for, oh, stop, Rachel. He doesn't deserve it any longer. But this is the problem. You have the Democrats openly working against us, and we unfortunately have some Republicans working against us. Why they smile and tell us they're working with us. And that's why elections are important, because you get to make that decision. We have a primary in August for governor, lieutenant governor, secretary of state, treasurer, I'm trying to remember the attorney general. I mean, there's a bunch, but those are the big five. We're going to have a gubernatorial debate on June 27th. I hope all of you will bring your friends and come to it. Now, I will tell you who's agreed to come to it. Gubernatorial candidate Tim Ramthun, who's right back there. There's Tim Ramthun. He agreed to come to it. Gubernatorial candidate Kevin Nicholson, who's right there, agreed to come. As of Thursday evening, Rebecca Clayfish's campaign agreed to come as well. Tim Michaels is still trying to work it out. Now look, I won't take too much of your time, but I've worked in politics for a long time. If you're invited to a major debate, you either want to be there or you don't. This idea that you can't figure your schedule out, I mean, the man has enough money to own, what is it, 3 multi-million-dollar residences in New York? That's not to say what he owns here. So he has all the money to hire all the best old guard, John guards, whatever might be in terms of consultants that can figure everything out, but he can't get his schedule together. I'm just telling you, you can vote whomever you want for in August. But if they're afraid to come out and answer questions from little old me, then I'm just going to say, think hard before you pull the lever. Because he should want to talk to you and answer any questions you have. The lieutenant governors, they showed up on, was it just this past Monday?
Yes.
Wow, it seems like so much, it's a long week. Just this past Monday, most of them showed up. They answered the questions because ultimately they work for you. They are elected employees and they need to earn your vote. The letter after their name may be a good start, but it's what is most important isn't what they say, it's what they'll do. State Senator Andre Jacques was up here Monday. I'll be doing an event for him in Brilliant. RegJoeShow.com to learn it. He's a man that has always said what he will do, and he does it. We need more of that at every level. We need people unafraid to stand up for what they believe. If they're afraid to stand up for it while they're campaigning, what do you think they're going to do when they're in office? And if they won't answer important questions like, where were you during COVID? Where were you during the lockdowns and the mask mandates? Where were you with the election integrity questions? Then again, why would we support them now? We pay their salary. It's our tax dollars. They're supposed to be there for us. Now, I get a lot of flack from the Robin bosses of the world because who was it yesterday? Pat Snyder, yes. Pat Snyder, in a sobering moment, feel however you want on that question, but said that I was toxic. Now, maybe I'm toxic to rhinos. I'm toxic to those that won't be honest. Here's the thing about it. I support many Republicans. I support the Outagamie County Republican Party because they do the job. They're unafraid, they're unabashed, and they're supportive of conservative values. It's not like we're rooting for a team. It's not like we're in the NFL, right? And that's a whole different story, but it's not like football, right? Oh, if the Chicago Bears do it, it's cheating. If the Packers do it, it's good football. No, this is about what is true, what is good, what is beautiful, doing the right thing for the right reasons. That's what we need in office. Most important, and I'm going to I know you're going to go to the governors next, you want to hear from them more. Most importantly, it's a very simple thing. I'm going to come back to this beautiful symbol. This is the symbol of freedom. The land of the free. Do you feel free right now with all the things we were doing? But the second part of that is the home of the brave.
No, you're fine.
And that's what everyone must be, because we have to do that very simple thing. I encourage it every day with 3 simple words, and I'll finish with it again today. All we need to do is live life boldly. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for coming today.
Thank you very much, Joe. Inspiring as always. Thank you very, very much. very much for all the things that you also do for our party, because your voice is heard by many all over this country, all over our region, and thanks for being vocal and following your passion. So thank you very much, Joe. Now, I forgot to mention, if you haven't made it inside of our office yet over here, we do have food in there. So if you haven't eaten yet, please make your way in there and purchase some food to support the party here. Also, I'm going to ask how many of us in here are members of the Outagamie party? We show of hands. If you are not, I ask that you consider to join this party if you are part of Outagamie or whatever county you are part of. It is very, very important that you are a member. And if you can be a volunteering member, that's even more appreciated. If you are not being active, you can't complain. So make sure you are being active. And all of us here today, thank you for being active and being here today. Also merchandise. So there's a bunch of different merchandise in there. Presidential merchandise. We have Regular Joe merchandise that is in there. County merchandise. So make sure that you make your way. Lots of signs in there also. If you would like to decorate your yard with some of the candidates that you are supporting and get the word out there. Thank you very, very much. So how we are going to do this is, first of all, if you are a candidate that would like to speak, if you are running for a position and I have not talked to you yet, I am going to be to the side here. Please come and talk to me so that I can get your name on my list. We are going to go from top to bottom. So we are going to start with the governor's race. We have two folks here today. We have Tim Ramthun and we have Kevin Nicholson to speak. Do we have a preference? Tim's walking on up. Well, not a preference. Whoever runs first. Tim's racing. Oh, no fighting in the front here. No fighting in front. Okay, so we're going to let you speak here, Tim. Thank you very, very much for coming on down.
You did a great job. Praise God, from whom all blessings flow. Got to start with the important stuff, right? It's an honor to be here today. I did not expect this, so I'm going to wing it, which I usually do anyway. But I think she said 10 or 15 minutes. I'll try to be briefer than that because I don't want anybody to get brain down here. I would like you guys all to know that as a representative in the legislature for 2 sessions and 4 years, the process within the legislative body is broken. I live it, I see it, I feel it, I hear it. I can't stay in a place that doesn't work of, by, and for the people, which is what I do. 24/7, 365, I'm for the people. And when things like fear and favoritism and funding elements obstruct due process for the goodness of the people, it doesn't work for me. So I'm going to step out of a role I could do for 10 years. 5 more terms, easy. Wouldn't have to lift a finger, knock a door, spend a dime. I'm going to give it up. Because they need to come at it from a different way. Because it matters that much to me for you. What I bring to the table: leadership, courage, conviction, discernment, integrity, honesty, and a high sense of urgency, because time is not a gift for any of us to waste. In the private sector for 45 years, I worked in 7 key organizations, and my focus was tools, organization, process, people, human resources, finance, and audit. 7 spokes in a wheel. If you know anything about spokes, if they're too loose or if they're too tight, what happens? Right? So my job in those organizations over the course of 45 years was to make sure that those wheels of business and profit and customer satisfaction turned properly. And everywhere I went, I did that. And so when the conversation of running for public office came up back in 2010, I'm a school board member now. I just started my 4th term. I essentially will be doing school board work. I'm in my 10th year, but I'll have 2.5 more years to go, so it's roughly 12. Right now, at this point, 10 years of school board public service plus my 4 years in the Wisconsin legislature gives me the most experience in public sector offices than the other candidates combined. It's important to know that, because when you're in the body, inside looking out, you see things different. And when you're involved and directly impacted by that, you learn how to navigate through that stuff. So that happened for me in the public sector. It also happened in the private sector. I'm used to navigating in uncharted waters against currents that are swimming with sharks all the time. I'm okay with that. Because at the end of the day, for me, if I can do something of by and for the people, it doesn't matter what's around me, what's happening, or how difficult it's going to be. If it's the right thing to do, I do it. And I will never change that focus. I will never waver. I won't let people down. And I'm not going to quit. So here I am. Thank you. Thank you. So here I am trying something unique and different for you. No regrets. When I'm successful on August 9th, you're going to win big. Onions everywhere are going to get peeled to the core so we can define a root cause for issues and problems and solve them. That's what I do. I'm a crisis manager. I want things done yesterday and right, and I'm going to make sure it gets done. Now, just in case, like the rain's starting to come down now, the Lord decides perhaps something different for me on August 9th, then I get to stay home and play with my cat. But you will lose the strongest voice for you that you've had in state government in years. In my opinion, it's shared. That's still an applicable phrase, by the way, despite another individual with the same name. But anyway, we won't go there. So, I just wanted you to know, in my opinion, for you, you're the most important element for this moment today going forward, past August 9th through November 8th, to do the right thing for this state. There's good people that have offered themselves. I'm not alone here. Another guy's here today too. Good man, good stuff. Differences though we have, we'll find out as time progresses. However, what you have to do is put the hat on of the president of your company. All of you right now, you're all presidents of your respective companies. And the job you have is to put on the hat that says, I need to hire the best person possible for this role. Happens to be governor, but regardless of the title, you have to have that mentality. What are you looking for? Are you looking for popularity contests? Are you looking for whose turn it is to be in a seat? Does money buy your vote? Doesn't buy mine, never will. Yeah, I don't pay the rec dues, and that's another story, but that's part of it. I will never allow influences to affect my ability to serve. Period. Across the board. So put your management hat on and ask yourself the question, who do I want to represent me in that seat for that job? You got to know what the job entails, at least a little bit. More is better. But if you know a little bit about the job, you say, okay, that's what they got to do. Okay, so let's look at this person. This gentleman, this lady, what are they bringing to the table? You know, 45 years in the private sector, knocking the cover off the ball, 14 years in the public sector, I'm ready. I am ready to make this happen for this state. And I'll look forward to working with the other individuals running for this position after. Because we're going to need good people to help us. This is not a one-person job, but you want the right person in the right role at the right time? It's Tim time. I'm going to end it on that. Let somebody else speak. Kevin can come up. Good idea. Thank you for your time. Blessings to you all, and we're 98% water, so this is okay.
Thank you so very, very much, Tim. And, I just want to thank you for sitting next to me on the assembly floor and not giving me a hard time. Thank you very, very much for allowing me to represent along the side with you and everybody else in the assembly. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I told Rachel that I would keep it to 5 minutes or so, but most of you, I know you because last August, 10 months ago, I met Tim Ramthun, Janelle Branchin, and David Clark, and a few other people at the Capitol, August 6th, at a rally for election integrity. We were 10 months after the November 2020 election, and there was about 2,000 people there. The music was good, the speakers were good, Tim was good, Janelle Branchin was good, David Clark was good, but a bunch of us like us here today got together afterwards and said, do you really think anything's going to get done in Wisconsin? And every single person said no. So we came up with this plan to mobilize the whole state of Wisconsin, all 72 counties, to come alongside Tim Ramthun, to come alongside Janelle Branchin, to come alongside Chuck Wickers, because they were the three amigos that were willing to sacrifice everything to find out what happened in 2020 to make sure it never happened again. Let me give you a quick update. Since August 6th of 2021, just 10 months ago, we have mobilized the whole state of Wisconsin. My wife, Joan, would you come up just a little bit so folks can see you? Bring Nora with you, and Levi, would you come up also? These three rascals have clipboards. If you're here today and you want to give us your name and your email, we will plug you into our daily election integrity updates. And we're doing that from three perspectives. Number one, legislatively, what can we do to come alongside our legislators, the Senate and the Assembly, to help them? Number two, what can we do to come alongside our law enforcement officials in all 72 counties to make sure we get to the bottom of the fraud and fix it so it doesn't happen again? Number three, we work with the legal system, Justice Gableman and the courts. Because if we don't legislatively, law enforcement, and legally fix this election integrity fraud mess, it's over. You might as well forget voting because it doesn't make any difference. Real quick, here's what we found out in the last 10 months. The Democrats had a perfect 8-point plan in 2020, and they're about to do it again unless you step up legally, legislatively, and law enforcement and say, excuse my language, I don't use this language, but I'm going to today. By God, you are never going to cheat, steal an election in Wisconsin ever again, and here's why. The 8-point plan was this. They had to get as many people early to vote early in person. Then they flooded the zone with registration forms. Then they flooded the zone with absentee ballots. Then they went to the nursing homes. Then they went to the ballot drop boxes. Then they went to indefinitely confined. Then they went to the Eric's mover list. And the number 8 reason they cheated and they won the election by 20,682 was the night of the election in Milwaukee at Central Count, with every precinct in Wisconsin in except a handful. You remember this. Number 45 was ahead by 110,000. But Claire Woodall Vogue, the clerk for the city of Milwaukee, had a flash drive. You know what flash drives and flash sticks are for? It's to store information on. What do you think she had? Votes. 170,000. The first 20,000 went to Donald Trump to put him up by 130,000. The remaining 150,000 and change went to numbnuts, and that's how he won the state of Wisconsin by 20,682. Now, are the Democrats going to cheat again in 2022 from this 8-point plan? Yes, but here's a couple of 3 things. Thanks to Tim Ramthun, thanks to Janelle Branchin, thanks to Justice Gableman, law enforcement, and Chuck Wickers, we were able to block them on 3 or 4 things. The illegal ballot drop boxes. We will know in the next 30 days if they're permanently banned. That will take 137,551 fake ballots out. They can't use those again. Nursing homes. 92,000 people in a nursing home in Wisconsin. You have to have special voting deputies in 2022. That will take 92,000 out of the cheating thing. But they're up to it again. You give me your email address, we'll give you the updates. Number 3, the indefinitely confined. 267,000 people say they're indefinitely confined. Hogwash. And we're going to watch them like hawks so they don't cheat again. And then the last thing is the Eric's mover list. 232,000 people on that list that don't live in Wisconsin. 70,000 of them voted in 2020. So you take 92,000, 137,000, you take the Eric's mover list, 70,000, and the indefinitely confined. They can't cheat with about 300,000 or 400,000. And maybe Tim Ramthun will win. Maybe Kevin Nicholson or Clayfish or Michaels, maybe, or Ron Johnson, maybe they will win. But if you give me your name and your email, we are going to die on this hill, and we are going to expose them. Wisconsin will be ground zero. Keep your ears and eyes open over the next 3 to 4 weeks, because we've got stuff coming that will shake the foundation of this country, and Wisconsin will be ground zero. Thank you very much. Enjoy your day.
Position, because we have people in this state that need justice. We have people in hospitals who have been subject to COVID-19 protocols that have led to their death. We have people in this state that have been injured by vaccines that have come out of our federal government because of extreme government overreach. And in both of those cases, if I'm elected Attorney General, I intend to open investigations, and if those allegations are substantiated, I will, in fact, move forward with prosecutions. How many people here, by the way, have somebody that they know that they believe was killed by a COVID-19 protocol?
Not yet.
That's a lot of people. How many people, can you come and get this, please? Sorry, if you would. How many people believe that somebody that they know was either injured or killed by the vaccine, the so-called vaccine? Again, that's a lot of people here. I've been talking about the elephant in the room, no pun intended, with the GOP. I'm just saying that there have been a lot of people throughout this state, throughout this country, that have ignored the fact that we have over 28,000 confirmed deaths in this country because of the jab. And yet that number is probably underestimated by about 90%, which means the real number is about 200,000. But the third reason I'm running is for election integrity, and it is my position that we need to decertify the election. We need to decertify the election because of what has happened here, that at least the end that I can prove, and that I've got complete proof of, and that is that the absentee ballot drop boxes came out, the guidelines for those came out of our federal government. Again, extreme government overreach. When did it become okay for our government to meddle in state election laws when it is unconstitutional? Because under our Constitution, it is in fact the states that are charged with making the laws for our federal elections. So this is not right, but this is what happened. Right here, I've got, you're not going to be able to see them, but this is called ballot drop box guidelines. These guidelines came out of the federal government, and they were pushed out across this whole country. And one of a set of these got into the hands of WEC, the Wisconsin Election Commission, and I believe it was Megan Wolf. She's the one that sent out the next copy on August 19th, 2020. And she approved of the absentee ballot boxes. The only problem is she doesn't have any rulemaking or legislative power. She did that on her own. At least we think she did that on her own. But I have to tell you, back in 2020, after the election, I looked at my husband and I said, where did all these boxes come from? He didn't know. I'm the attorney, so I started looking into the statutes to find out what happened. Well, what I found was that the statutes were absolutely illegal, or the boxes were absolutely illegal under Wisconsin law. And so from there, I tried to get the attention of legislators. I testified before a joint session. Nobody was interested in hearing the truth, and so I filed a case called Meuller v. WEC within 30 days of this deal. And what happened was I filed it on a Friday, and on Monday, Perkins Coie, Hillary's attorneys, Mark Elias, wanted to intervene in my case. And so they did intervene, and in their response, they sent me, or they put into their case, a document that basically shows that Robin Voss approved of the absentee ballot drop boxes, but he also did not have legislative authority when he was by himself. If anybody wants a copy of this after I'm done talking, just come over to me and I'll give you a copy of it so that you can read it. You don't have to believe a word I say, but you should pay attention to things that are absolute evidence that came from the websites of these organizations. So I'm not going to belabor the point, but what that all means is that we have the ability to decertify. The reason we have the ability to decertify is because under Wisconsin law, any ballot that is placed or that is delivered in an illegal fashion, and the absentee ballot drop boxes are illegal, those ballots could not be counted, and yet they were counted. The statute goes on and says, and those ballots that are delivered in an illegal manner cannot be used to certify an election. What that means is that the moment that those ballots hit an illegal drop box, they became null and void. Words matter. And what that means is that we're not talking about nullification, they're already null and void. What we're talking about is decertification, because what the legislature erroneously certified, they have the authority to decertify. And they can decertify that, in my opinion, without the court, because they that certified can decertify. The statute itself says that the ballots were illegal. So, from there, I'm just going to say for a moment, obviously we are celebrating Flag Day here, and less than a week ago, we remembered D-Day, and we remembered the men that fought and died. And I want you, for freedom's sake, and of course this is a symbol of freedom, I just want you to know that the reason I am here is for freedom's sake and for justice, because I have grandchildren that if we don't change course, they're not going to live in freedom. That's the one reason I do it. The second reason is for those who went before us and fought and died for freedom. And we cannot let their sacrifices be in vain. And so I urge every one of you, all of Wisconsin, to stand up, to get out, and to help the candidates. And I ask for your vote, and I ask for your prayers. Thank you very much.
Thank you very, very much for coming and speaking today. We have Orlando Owens, one of my favorites to always speak. I don't know if I should give up the microphone.
Let's get fired up right now. Does anybody still love America? Does anybody still love freedom? And does anybody still love God? Then I'm in the right place. My name is Orlando Owens, and I'm running for state treasurer. For the last 7 years of my life, I've been working for U.S. Senator Ron Johnson. Let's clap for Ron Johnson. That's enough, because I taught him everything he knows. He'll never tell you that out loud, but truth is truth. So I'm running for state treasurer. I need your help, you all. I need your prayers. Now, I'm not a perfect man by far. I've made mistakes before in my life, but by the grace of God and this great country, that I can even tell you how strong my testimony is. I'm 48 years old, you all, and I got a 13-month-old son at home. His name is Regular Owens. So don't tell me what God cannot do. What I can tell you is this, you all. I got the endorsement at the state convention by the delegates. Myself and Ron Johnson were only the two people who did it. I take that very humbly for the support. But also I want to support every Patriot group, every delegate, every person who's not affiliated to the Republican Party or the Patriot Movement, who just calls themselves a conservative and they love God and they love America, I want their endorsement as well too. Let's clap for that. What the Bible says is very clear. A house divided cannot stand. A house divided cannot stand. We as conservatives must come together. Do you all remember what happened a few weeks ago? We had the school boards flip in some counties. We had a county board flip in some counties because we came together, not tear each other apart. I'm looking for people as candidates who can inspire me to greatness, who can inspire me to do more, who can inspire me to do things for my country right now that our country needs. Now, America is not perfect, but America is the best. Let's clap for America. I believe this, you all, as I'm about to wrap, I'm not going to be long, that if we come together, greatness can happen. We have about a few more weeks, and I say support your candidate, whoever that is. Well, the day after the election in August, we have to come together for we are family. And our family is bonded by this flag. We have to understand that more than anything else, that we must come together for freedom, for liberty, and for justice. You must be inspired right now. We don't need any more people from the left telling you, all you white people right now are a bunch of white racists and your white privilege. What you have is God's blessing, and I have it too. You should clap for that. The question right now, you all, is for us to rise above all the negativity. Hey, I even got attacked. I consider myself a real candidate now. The sad thing about it is this. If people attack you, the enemy is busy, then that means we must be doing something right. As a minister of the gospel of Jesus Christ, I understand this, that Jesus did not call perfect people. He called imperfect people to confound this world. Now, all you deplorables and imperfect people, our country is calling upon you again to stand. Stand for freedom. Stand for the things that you hold close and you hold dear. In this moment, we must stand. In this moment, this is our fight. In this moment, we must stand together. Now, I know it's been raining all day, and I've been working on my outside voice, because I don't know if you guys know, I'm a little shy around people. But I feel this in my soul and in my heart. I still love America. And it's still okay to say, USA, USA, USA. Go ahead. USA. As I close right now, let's clap right now for our country. Let's clap for our freedoms. Let's clap right now for our liberties, for the things we hold true. My name is Orlando Owens, and I need your vote, I need your support, and most importantly, I need your prayers. Let's go get this thing done.
I told you Orlando was going to come up here and